Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for The Walking Dead Comics issue 184. So yeah, let's just go straight into talking about this. No real big intro needed. I was gonna say stuff about the show or whatever, but I'm gonna save that for after I talk about this issue. Damn, I always try to call it a chapter. But yeah, I absolutely love this arc and this storyline. Now there are some things where I'm like, some things aren't very zombie apocalypse-y, but I like that it feels very different, and I like that they're using the Commonwealth as a tool to tell stories. I think that's very, very cool, and that it's not just one big group that they have to fight again that we've seen a million times. But one thing that was really cool this issue that's been going on, and they really amped it up a lot this issue, is that we have these different character arcs going on that are now starting to all work together into one story that's going to happen. Things are going to pop off probably pretty soon with all this stuff. And even then, we've kind of seen a lot of it popping off. Michonne could have just been bludgeoned to death earlier this issue. But I'll start from the beginning. So, Rick's group returns to this rioting going on. We saw it at the end of last month's. Then Michonne and Elodie, they run back for Jerome, but the people are like, we're taking revenge. These guys beat a guy to death. Jerome protects Michonne, and again, this is more showing depth to it all. The officers are totally bad guys. We see that the citizens do not like them, that they fear them, that they feel they're being oppressed. So this isn't just like, oh, one incident and they're gonna just turn on them. No, you wouldn't really turn on them after just one incident unless this has kind of been building. And it built, and then finally they beat an innocent guy to death, and now the citizens are revolting against them. But at the same time, though they've done this bad stuff, there is still some heroicness or some side of good when Jerome tries to protect Michonne. So it shows the sort of moral gray area here, where yes, they did something very bad, but at the same time, not all of them are just complete bad. There's a lot of gray area with these characters. So I think that's really good, and it's a story that sort of I've talked about with you before, how it takes things that happen in real life and it's using them as part of the story, and it's using them in a really good way, not only because it brings up all these gray area moral questions, but also because it tells the story of this place that's trying so hard to be what the old world before the zombie apocalypse was. And the thing is, when you try to do that, the old world was not perfect. A lot of them are thinking, man, that world was so great, there weren't zombies or anything, but it had its own problems. And when you're trying so hard to go back to that, you're going to run into the same problems it had. So it's this story of going back, only moving forward is the right direction, because going back only brings back the old problems. So, and it kind of just throws you into a cycle. So again, that's a really cool way of telling the story, and it fits perfectly with the story in general. Doing that is the same thing with Michonne as a character story, where she's trying to go back and is going to have to eventually learn that going back isn't the right answer. She needs to move forward, and again, Rick is kind of on the side of moving forward. So I kind of feel like Rick will be the good guy to push her out of this. I feel like Pamela and Michonne are the characters that are embodying the we need to go back kind of thing, whereas Mercer and Rick are kind of the we need to go forward kind of characters. And Dwight is somewhere in there. Dwight is like we need to go forward, but kind of in a wrong extreme way. He's kind of going off to the side here. But we see Rick and Dwight helping to try to stop all of this nonsense. Dwight just punches a guy. And Mercer takes charge of ending this riot. Like I said, it was going to happen. And he didn't do it in a crazy, I'm going to take over now, military rule kind of way. Mercer takes charge and he says, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Both he and Pamela say, or Pamela specifically says, we're in charge, you elected me. Guess what? Now we're going to, well, I don't know if they actually did elect her. I think she was just a politician before, so she became a politician now. But either way, they vow basically, we're going to get down to this, we're going to solve it, and we're going to bring back peace. And again, the wording that they keep using and that Kirkman is emphasizing is this wording of going back and this wording of order over what's right. Just being organized and being peaceful as a word, being literally peaceful rather than peace of mind. But Michonne in court argues that, yeah, the officers did something wrong, but for some of them it was just not really on purpose. It was kind of an accident. They saw the guy attack the cops, they attacked him, and they ended up going too far. But she says that they've been beaten and hospitalized, so they've kind of been served their punishment. So she's like, we can just drop the charges. They've been served their punishment. They're hospitalized. And a lot of the words she uses are again about going back, but things that she specifically brings up are that this place is built on trust and order. And it's just showing how her character is just desperately grasping at, we just need to make things stay status quo. So it's so interesting to see what Kirkman's doing with these characters. And another thing, when she talks to Rick directly afterwards, it's great, where we see the dark silhouette of her, and she says that she would sell her soul in order to take things back to the way they were, pretty much. So it shows just the depth of it all. We see Eugene for a bit, and we barely see Eugene, and yet this issue was titled Eugene Tinkers, though we've barely seen any of them. He's planning to fix the train system. Could be very good, but if Kirkman just decides, screw this, we're going back to the same old formula of big bad evil community, they could then use the trains as a means of war transport in order to take over Alexandria and its allied communities. But either way, don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. Then Pamela is kind of lecturing Lance on how he let all this happen, and she sees Rick and Mercer helping clean up outside, so she goes and is like, what are you doing? Rick says, I had time to help out. And then Pamela's like, fine, I do too, and she starts helping, which is good, showing some character growth. And Mercer particularly looks glad about it. He's like, these people are... It was kind of a look of, these people are what we need. Rick is what we need. He's kind of showing the Commonwealth that it can be more equal. Then Dwight sees something totally different. Dwight, without any context, sees Pamela's son coming up and being an ass, saying, don't we have people to clean this? Why are you dirtying your hands here like the commoners and such? And all the general rich bitches up in their little balcony restaurants eating while these normal people are down here picking up trash. And Dwight mentions, it's disgusting. We're here picking up their mess, and they're just up there watching us for entertainment. And Laura brings up, well, we can clean this mess up. So she's been leading Dwight toward the side of good, and now he's going kind of askew. He's still on the side of good, just not the same page of the side of good as, like, Rick or Mercer. But either way. And again, Mercer seems like he's totally a cool dude, but every once in a while they have these panels that just make me doubt him a little bit. They make these panels, like when he's smiling and stuff, I'm like, so is that a real smile, like he's a really cool, good dude? Or is that a fake smile, like everything's going according to his plan? So I never know whether or not to trust him. And the same thing goes with, we see that he is together with Princess now, and I really like that. But again, his smile and stuff at the end, I'm like, so is he really in love with Princess? Or not necessarily in love, that's a bit dramatic. But is he really willing to steadily date Princess? Or is he, like, just lying to further his own agenda? So, yeah, sometimes the smile is just like, is that a real smile? Is he betraying us all? I don't know what Mercer's doing here. But then we see more of the citizens just meeting Rick while he's walking out on the street, stripping away the varnish and showing more of what Dwight says, that he can see that they are a people under boot. They are a people, like, kind of living under a threat, really. Which is very interesting, because Dwight's waiting for Rick, and he says that he sees these people as being like the saviors. Now, they aren't as jaded, they aren't as destroyed or corrupt as the saviors, but he sees them as kind of in the same position, and he says that he couldn't lead the saviors, he couldn't save the saviors, but he can save these people. And Rick, of course, is just like, no, Dwight, no, we're not just taking this place over. I don't know if they will try to do that. Don't know if I agree with Dwight here or not. But, yeah, that's kind of the interesting part of it. There's so much moral gray area going on in the story. And so many different things that are like, I can't tell if this character's right or wrong. Like Michonne, Dwight, Pamela, I can't tell if, or Mercer, I can't tell if these characters are on the right path or if they're wrong. So yeah, and of course Rick seems like he's just going to be the sage, the main character that brings them all to the light of enlightenment and all that. But yeah, I thought it was an amazing issue. I love the themes that the story brought up. It's really, really good. And I love how great the character stories are right now, the arcs going on for the characters. We have Rick's story that's going on currently, Pamela's, Dwight's, Mercer's, Princess's, Michonne's, and even more. So yeah, I would actually give this 9 sanctuaries out of 10. I like as well that Michonne called the Commonwealth a sanctuary. Again, calling back to the saviors and making those connections to how they are living in similar circumstances in some ways. So this was really, really cool. I loved the issue. So, yeah. Gonna call that a video. So, like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this issue, what you thought of my thoughts on it and all that. I will be back next month for the next live reaction and review. And I may make videos on the show here and there, but I'm not reviewing it weekly. I talked about this before. Yeah, not sure what I'm doing with that, but it's coming back soon, like tomorrow, so that's a thing. I guess that's it. Yeah, don't recall anything else. Yeah, so guess that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. And like I said, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, or talk to you there if you want. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us on Discord about the series or anything else, it's free and open for anyone. So just ask and I'll give you a link if you want a link to that. So that's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.